Ladies and gentlemen, friends, viewers, and fellow gamers, welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. My name is Sandrock Custom, bringing you a video today with Arthas, the Lich King. Arthas is a character that's been in the game since the beginning. He was one of the first tanks that was put into the game by Blizzard. He had a pretty successful run near the beginning. In fact, in Alpha, my understanding is that he was one of, if not the strongest tank in the entire game. So he had a very strong start, and as usually goes through, balancing and testing and all these different things, he fell off because Blizzard decided that, you know what, he's a little too powerful, we need to curb his ability. So he suffered for quite some time. So he fell off pretty heavily after the game was released, and then there were some changes that were made just throughout the course of the game, and he became even less important as the meta went on. So Blizzard finally addressed this recently and gave some pretty serious reworks to his entire kit and to the character as a whole, and that leads us to this game today. This is my first game, actually no, my second game as Arthas under the new patch. My first game was just a complete shutout. My team just completely fell apart. It was not worth watching. Not fun to watch at all. So I figured it was time to give this guy some coverage, see how he did in the new meta, and the answer is he actually does quite well. So right now I'm farming middle lane, and that's for a couple of reasons. On this map, Dragonshire, it's really important to guard this middle objective here. It's nice to stay in the middle because you might be able to grab the dragon, but more often than not what happens is one team will have a stronger top and bottom lane, and they'll manage to take the shrines, and whether or not they actually capture the objective depends on if someone is guarding middle or not. Here I am telling my Malfurion, hey, it's okay, I'm fine, you can leave me, it's going to be okay. So like right here, for example, they're going in for it, and my job here is just to stop them and body block them. Now, I did manage to do that. Unfortunately, I get taken out. But that was enough time for my team to jump into the shrine and deactivate it. Now, if I hadn't been there, or I had just not been paying attention, or I had gone to gank or something like that, they likely would have gotten that dragon, and it would have been pretty bad for us. And yeah, that is a little embarrassing. I definitely overstayed my welcome there. But the thing is that that was definitely the right thing to do. Even though I might have been able to save myself if I had played a little better, it was far better for me to stop them from getting the dragon and knocking down those towers, because that is a ton of experience to get early in the game. So here we are, we're back to farming. Arthas has a really good farm for a tank because of his E, Howling Wind. It does a really good job of just passively doing damage to these minions. Now Arthas's kit, his Q is Death Coil. Q shoots out a bolt of I don't know what it is. It's like necromancy magic or something like that, but it does damage. It's not a ton, but it's usually enough to finish off a character that's fleeing. If they're down to just a sliver of health, it's usually enough to finish off a fight there. He can also use it on himself, like it did just there, to heal, which is very nice. Gives him some good in-lane sustain. A little bit of self-heal. The cooldown on it's pretty good, so it's not a foolproof healing ability for him, but it does the job pretty well. So our team here has gotten the 2 shrines. We're probably not going to be able to make anything happen, hence why I'm not working very hard at jumping into the dragon. And as you can see, we've already lost the shrines. Now, I did use my W to root Lily, and between me and Falstad, that was enough to make something happen. Now, the thing about Arthas is that, again, his Q is, it's a damage ranged magic projectile. His W, as you saw there, roots the enemy in place. And when you combine this with his E, which also adds a slow effect to any enemy that's caught in the Howling Winds, he's actually got a pretty good amount of crowd control. So he's kind of a bit of a hybrid. He's a debuffing tank, with a little bit of self-sustain, and he's also got just a smidge of range damage. Not a lot, but enough to make a difference sometime and secure a kill. I'll apologize for the audio quality of this video. My allergies have been going crazy today. Now you can see there I was able to use my Q to barely take out that tracer, and that's the thing. You don't rely on it. You know, it's not something to use as a crutch, but in that fight it was just enough damage to kind of tip me over the edge. Now Arthas's trait is called Frostmourne Hungers, which is just a really awesome name for any trait of any kind. But what it does is it empowers his basic attack, and when he strikes a minion or a hero, it does bonus damage, but it also restores mana, and that is a hugely necessary thing for Arthas because he uses so much mana laning, farming minions, fighting, all that stuff. He really needs it. So here I'm able to root this Tracer. I'm able to pull off some damage on her, but that's about the extent of it. Arthas is a character that can secure kills very well, and he can bully people out of a position, but he really does not have the ability to solo kill pretty much anyone. Now, if someone sticks around and they try to 1v1 him, there are some characters in some situations that he can effectively kill, but in most cases, it's not to his advantage to stick around and try to challenge one-on-one most characters. He's very much a tank that relies on situational advantages. And he can create those advantages with his debuffs, his crowd control, his slows, his root, things of that nature. Now, we do have Nova here, but it doesn't look like she was feeling okay about going in. And I have to agree with that call. Lily is a very powerful healer. She creates a lot of potential for the enemy team in this situation because her heal will automagically heal the lowest character that is within range, the character with the least amount of health. And Nova, at this point, doesn't even have her ultimate, so she just does not have the damage output to take down a Tracer that is being healed. So that was definitely the right call. And as Nova, once you're out of stealth, you would better be either ready to kill or in a position that you can run away quickly because she has 0 escapes. So there are 4 people mid here. This is definitely a scary situation. It looks like they've decided that, you know what, hey, we're not getting anything done in terms of the dragon, so we might as well try and farm mid and see if we can push into the towers. Then they decided to just kind of back off. Little unsure why they chose to do that, but, you know, hey, there you go. So, we're going back to farming. We do have a very slight XP advantage here, but it's basically non-existent. You know, gave us an advantage there for all of 10 seconds. Now, you'll notice there it said Frostmourne Hunger powers up. The level 1 trait I took is one of the new talents that Arthas has access to. Essentially what it does is, okay, so I'm using my ghouls here to try and just make this Tracer know that, hey, this is my lane, you don't get to be here, you had better back off. And now I'm pushing up into their towers, which are out of ammo. And that was enough. That wave push was enough for, I didn't see who got it, but for us to secure that dragon. It's a very good thing. I don't remember what I was saying before. It'll probably come to me later. So here we are. We are knocking down 1, 2 towers and a gate. The dragon player is doing a very good job of taking Lily out of this fight and making sure that they are not getting that free healing. Now, the best case scenario here is that we take down this keep, but this looks like a pretty bad, nasty situation, so it is definitely time to back off. Arthas versus the Skeleton King, Leoric, not the best matchup, because Leoric is pretty much a tank killer with his W. He can easily duel another tank with that ability. And now he's just kind of wandering around in our base, just seeing what's up. So that level 1 talent, that's what I was talking about. Essentially what happens is, it's a new classification of talents called quests. And Arthas's quest, if you take this talent, is to strike with Frostmourne Hunger's enemy heroes 15 times. And every time he does that, the amount of mana that he recovers increases by, I think, like 5 or something like that. Not a lot, but it adds up, and that can make a huge difference. So here we are just kind of re-engaging this middle, trying to get them to back off so that they don't do too much damage. It looks like we're going in on this Leoric. He is using his ability to get away. Falstead doing a lot of damage, but not quite. Lili goes down because of that Nova, but man... That was such a close engagement there. It's really a shame we weren't able to pick up a couple more kills and get more of an XP advantage. But as you can see, we've got level and a half here, no problem. So once you complete Frostmourne Hungers, are we going to get this Zagara? Yeah. Oh yeah, we definitely got her. She unfortunately got that ult off too late. That makes me sad. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get out of here, but yeah, between my heal and Furins, that should be fine. Once you complete that talent, he also gets a damage boost to Frostmourne Hungers, and that is just very nice, because as you can see, Arthas' biggest problem, not really a problem, but his biggest disadvantage is that he really doesn't do a lot of damage. He just creates setups and situations for his team, or he's able to chunk down the last like third of an assassin's health, which is fine, because you definitely don't want your tank to also be assassin level in terms of strength. You don't want that kind of role confusion, because then you just create overpowered characters. Now, some of the other talents that have been changed, they've added, was it a health quest, I believe, for level 1? I definitely encourage you, if you're interested, to go and check the patch notes, because they made a lot of changes. It's really hard for me to remember all of them, if I'm being honest with you. But they essentially just made Arthas more viable, and they also gave him more choices in his talent pick. Before, what happened was he really wasn't good at anything, and his tier choices, his talent choices at the different tiers were just not that impressive. Here we are body blocking this Lili, and it's going to be, oh, there it goes. Zagara putting out a lot of damage with that Mutalisk, that Hunter Killer, and now we got that Tracer as well, who got greedy, decided to try and chase me. You used to be able to do that very easily with Arthas. Arthas before was just so squishy, he was just completely useless. He would die before he could get off any meaningful crowd control. And the problem before, too, was that none of his talents really impacted the game beyond the alpha, beyond the changes that they made to him. So Blizzard just kind of did a complete rework of him. They kept his kit pretty much the same, but the talents were completely redone. And so now he is actually a viable pick. I have not checked his statistics on Hotslog lately, but I have to imagine they've gone up significantly, whereas before he was pretty near the bottom compared to other tanks, at least. So my team is middle with the Dragon, and because I'm not going to be able to get there in a decent amount of time, and because we're so far ahead in levels, I said, you know what, let's just take down this keep top if we can, because pretty much the entirety of their team is middle, and my team is not having any problems whatsoever in terms of fending them off. Now, we probably won't be able to take this keep down on our own, because this is, again, Arthas' big problem is damage, but at the very least, we can push the wave, we can farm some XP, and we can use up some of the ammo on this keep, because once a keep runs out of ammo, it's pretty much just ripe for the taking, and it's just a matter of time until minions kill it, unless the enemy team pushes back. We do manage to take down this keep and get a good chunk of XP, and then it's time to get out. So our team is doing really good, as I apparently was thinking the exact same thing when I went to type that in. They're very coordinated. Everyone's playing their parts well. The enemy team is not doing bad. It's just that we're playing a little bit better, and I think we might have a little bit better of a team comp. Double healers used to be pretty powerful. It still is to some extent, but people are starting to figure out how to play around it. And what's happening with all the changes that are being made to those characters, as well as to the assassins and the tanks and all that, is that double healer is just not giving as much as it used to. It's getting some diminishing returns in terms of team composition. So we grabbed this siege camp here, and now we're joining the middle to see if maybe there's a team fight that's going to break out here. We're going in. We go in on this Leoric, and he's trying to get away. He manages to do so, but a great ultimate by Zagara. Now our job is to body block and make sure they can't get out, and just like that, 3 kills, triple kill. Yeah, that was just a fantastic ultimate by Zagara. Completely changed the flow of that team fight, and now we've got a free 30 seconds of siege damage that we can do here. If we're lucky, we'll get is it a keep or a castle? I don't remember what it's called, the second tier, but if we're lucky, we'll get that. If nothing else, we'll break down their doors, push the wave, and get some XP. Now, Zagara, the enemy Zagara, is putting out a lot of damage, so it's just time to get out. We may not be able to. They're chasing us down pretty hard, but Falstad manages to take her back, and then it's just this Malfurion. Now, everyone we did kill in that triple kill is coming back, so now we might as well just grab this dragon. Our team did a great job of grabbing the shrines while we were pushing mid. I love the map awareness this team is exhibiting. While we were kind of tunnel visioning a little bit, going, oh, free XP in the middle, someone had the right mind to say, you know what, we should grab the shrines while we can, and now we are probably going to take down this second tier keep right here. It's going to happen unless this dragon just completely walks away. Now, there is a Tracer and a Malfurion around. We do have to be careful about that. But with our Malfurion behind us, with our Zagara coming in, it's probably nothing to be afraid of, especially since their Leoric, for whatever reason, is top. I don't know what he's doing there. That's a huge tactical error on his part. We did kill their keep middle, so now we're going to be getting siege minions middle. That's a really bad thing for the enemy team. We have not lost a single fort in this entire game. The enemy team is just not playing their advantages because they've had opportunities where they could have taken them down, but they didn't. And that alone is why you see that almost a 3-level advantage right now. They are getting caught out of position quite a bit too. So there is that. Again, these enemy players are not bad. They are just getting outplayed, and they're not quite as coordinated as our team is here. So we're farming bottom, and between Rune Tap, which I believe is a level of 7 talent, our Q, and the Malfurion, we just have not had to go back at all. We do manage to root this Zagara, chunk her down a little bit, but that's about all we can accomplish. Zagara panics and uses her ultimate, and does manage to kill us. So you got to be careful with Arthas. He's definitely tankier than he used to be, but as you can see, I very much overstayed my welcome there. And just from that, they were able to get a significant chunk of XP, and now that almost 3-level lead has been reduced to 2. A lot of people don't realize that if you have the advantage over an enemy team by more than, I believe, 2 levels, the game increases the amount of XP from kills significantly. As an example, a team fight can... if it's even, it can get you like maybe 1 level. But if you get into a team fight and you're at a disadvantage and you still win, you can get like a level and a half or something like that. It's a significant difference, a very significant difference. So you have to be extremely careful. So we got a lot of these mercenaries. We've got mercenaries pushing. We've got siege minions pushing in the middle lane, and now I'm letting my team know, hey, let's set up and get those shrines. It looks like the enemy team has decided not to really address these mercenaries and instead try to get these shrines. This is a great position for us because we are forcing them to let something go. Either let the shrines go or let those mercenaries go. Now, Zagara trying to make something happen here, but between me and Nova, she's just not going to be able to get away with anything. Now, it looks like there's a team fight up top. I was not in the state of mind to go and observe that, but it looks like we captured that shrine anyway, so now we're going to get this dragon no problem. At this point, it's very possible that the game could end because with a dragon and nothing stopping them middle lane and the other team just not really paying attention, and then the Leoric getting caught out of position again, this is not a good situation for them. Now, in retrospect, I don't think that I would have gone after this Leoric like I did. He's clearly baiting us and saying, well, you know what? If I'm caught out of position, I might as well make them waste their time. He's doing that pretty effectively. Now, we probably will end up killing him, but not really worth it when we could be going for the core. So that, just learn from my mistake here. I was definitely getting tunnel vision, trying to trying to get a kill because we're so far ahead, and I just kind of had bloodlust. Lily did pop her ultimate, so we might as well back off. Anything we try to accomplish here will just be negated. The rest of the team is just they're not so sure about that. We do get caught in the ultimate of Zagara, but Nova's doing a great job of focusing that Zagara down, and we managed to root that Lily and just put some pressure on her. Unfortunately, we do die. That was definitely not the best situation for us because we did not have Falstad with us. So getting kind of sloppy here. This is always the challenge when you are ahead, is you get overconfident. We definitely got sloppy, and at this point, the best thing we can do is just start to play safe, keep pushing, stop them from getting mercenaries, grab the mercenaries ourselves, and just let the waves do the work for us. A lot of times when people have a level advantage, they'll say like, okay, let's end it quickly. Sometimes that works, but if it doesn't, then you've just given a huge advantage to the other team. As you can see here, we're down to a 1-level lead, and that is really... It's not insignificant in terms of stats, but it's certainly not as good as a 2-level lead. A 2-level lead is a significant difference in stats. So we are pushed up to their core. So the team did wisely decide to back off and say, you know what, we're just going to grab some mercenaries, push some waves, because they don't have a tank. And that's not a reflection on me, not saying I'm amazing. It's just that, hey, you need a front line in order for your damage dealers to be effective. So I'm letting them know that I'm on my way, so that they don't do anything stupid. I've seen that happen quite a bit, where people will kind of get impatient and just jump in because they're like, they'll catch up eventually, and that's just, oh, please don't do that. Please don't do that. That's a great way to die and to make your tank very, very sad. All right, so we are in a team fight here, and for whatever reason, that did not register as a route for Leoric, so now I'm kind of caught with my pants down. My team is not following up with me, apparently did not get the memo, and so I'm kind of forced to back off here. I'm letting them know that, hey, let's go in. As a tank, your job is to let them know when you plan to go in, and really most of the time you just have to kind of walk forward and hope that they follow. Now I am wisely switching to the Zagara here. Zagara, I don't know if she used Blink or what happened there, but she jumped in and she died. Not very smart for her. We are focusing on this Leoric a little more than we should. We should probably be getting the healers, but it doesn't matter because our team is just on top of things right now. My guess of what's happening here is that either Malfurion or Lily should have gone for a little bit more of a damage build, because I don't think that they have enough damage to really make something happen here. If Lily, for example, had taken some more damage dealing talents, like maybe her Serpent ult, the Great Cloud Serpent, that actually might have been enough damage to turn that team fight, but it doesn't matter. We're doing core damage, and this is going to be the GG right here. So Arthas, his new changes... really stinking good. Really stinking good. I'm talking like the game's over, but it's not over because, surprise, no one focused the core. Oh, isn't that fun? But it's okay because that Dragon Knight is just going to go in and finish things off for us. Focus the core, guys. If you're doing a significant amount of damage, if the shield is down and your full team is there, right-click the core. Don't do anything else. Seriously. Please don't. That's all right. That's all right. So the new changes to Arthas, in my opinion, have made a very big difference in his performance. You still have to play him well. He's certainly not overpowered simply through his talents or stats, but he's beefier. He can take more hits. His talents do a lot more damage and a lot more... They make much more of an impact. As you can see, I absorbed 107,000 damage that game. Now, Leoric did absorb quite a bit more, but I don't know that that's actually a good thing in this case because he was getting hit quite often, and he often didn't survive leaving his engagements, whereas we did. We also did the most XP contribution for our team, so yeah. It was quite an interesting match here. Quite an interesting match. Thank you all for watching. We will see you next time. This is Sandor Custom signing out.